I gotta find us.
Welcome everyone to today's or this week's live stream with Rodine and myself. It's been an interesting experience because I sent a message yesterday to Rodine saying that I'm in a funk and that I'm struggling, and I wasn't sure if I'd be able to turn up today or not because I needed to give myself permission not to. Then, interesting enough, Rodine responded back. And do you want to share how you responded to this?
I found it interesting. It's like, how interesting. My response was, I'm really low energy today too. And I'm, just kind of blah. And that, I said, if you're really not feeling up to it, then we could cancel for tonight. It's a last minute cancellation. It's not something that is a practice of ours or that we want to become a practice. But at the same time, like I know I was feeling, to just not have anything even in my head to have to be there for, be present for, right? And that was okay. But then as it turns out, because of the time difference, of course, Chantal and I couldn't talk about it. So, it was too late to cancel. And so here we are. But the cool thing is it gave us our topic for today's chat.
Exactly. And it did. Here we go. That's exactly right. And the good thing is I could sleep on it and you could have the day. And even though I had a relatively good sleep, I'm still feeling in a funk. That's not the point. And I did light the candle, which I always like to do to welcome in our spirits. And also, this is what we thought we'd talk about, is not so much the funk itself.
No.
As such. I mean, I'm happy to share a little bit, but it's more about how do we handle this? How do we deal with this? What rituals can you put into place, or tools, or basically support? What support have you put into place? Because often I've realized over the years and working on myself, obviously with clients and speaking to people and like yourself, we often don't have tools in place to support ourselves. We just keep going. We keep pushing.
Yes.
And that can be also due to society that's seen as weak, pathetic, stiff upper lip, which is the British side, keep going, you're being selfish. All those things come into play, and particularly as women as well. And I'm going to say this as a woman, we're not taught, we're givers. Keep giving.
Yeah. We keep everything going.
That's right.
Right? We keep everything going.
Yeah. And we keep everything going because part of the conversation was how mine came about, amongst numerous things. Last week, we celebrated my mum's 95th birthday early because her granddaughter, so my niece, is imminently expecting her baby. So first great-grandchild, first great niece, nephew. And it was a beautiful time and all that. But I realized that's not going to be an experience that I'm not going to have. And every now and again, it does come up again and again. And then it just contributed to the future, my partner not being here. And this is what it's going to be like. And man, did my mind go off. So even though I've enjoyed my silent retreats, which we've been talking about, suddenly the silence was no longer a retreat. It became actually a heaviness and a burden. It's like, right, how did I end up here on the weekend? But why I'm saying that is because even though I'm not a mother and obviously not going to be a grandmother or anything like that, I'm still a giver. It took me a long time to understand that. As women, this is part of who we are. So it can be like a heaviness, yet it's also a beauty. It's a magnificence when we are able to rein it in and be able to give ourselves as well.
So what did you do for yourself?
Well, ironically, and today I'm not doing any art because I can't concentrate. I'm just not in the mood, but I just want to bring something over. I actually, this weekend, first of all, I've learned really well. I've got to make sure I sleep well. Because as soon as I don't sleep well, everything is magnified. no matter how beautiful the weather is outside, there's this grey pall over me. There's this darkness. So I eat well. So I'm trying a lot more plant foods and just eating differently. I sleep. And I did my usual things, a bit more mindful about meditation, because that's the other thing I realized. We go on about stillness and meditation and mindfulness, but when you are not feeling stable or not feeling in the best mood, particularly when you're in the height of trauma, it can actually be detrimental. So what I realized was, and had the experience was, the silence that I wanted to be in for the last 2 weeks, because Willem, my partner's been gone for 2 weeks, was brilliant because I was able to. I felt solid, grounded, confident, connected. Then suddenly something switched, no idea what. And suddenly the silence became oh my God, a heaviness and a burden. And then I started to go down the darkness. It turned. So anyone who's watching this, be happy to share, because this is quite personal, how you feel about this. So it's been interesting. So then it becomes a catch-22. Did I want to do the art jam or not? Because suddenly it becomes, everything feels too much, too heavy, too effortful, you know.
And a part of that too is we're also conditioned to, especially on social media, that we only share the best of the best, the best moments. So what do you do? And especially because of the topics that we talk about, and both of us acknowledge that, you know, we have spiritual practices. This is a part of, you know, how we've been navigating through PTSD and life in general. And so how do you then come on and do what you're supposed to do when you're feeling really crappy, and put on a brave face? So, because you're just not supposed to.
That's right.
You know, you're supposed to hide all the dirt, hide all the ugly, and just be, you know, happy and sunshiny. And it's like, no, that's not how life goes. And I think one of the really incredible things for us is that that's what this is all about. And so I think it's pretty amazing that neither one of us had to do that today to be here, right? It's like, I'm feeling off, I'm low energy, you're feeling off, you're low energy, but we can and are still coming together to meet and talk and share.
Yes.
Because this is real life.
That's exactly right.
Period.
It is.
Right?
And I think the other thing that I knew as well, because I felt safe with you.
Yeah.
And it was safe to be able to take my mask off and just go, you know what, here it is, even though it is going on to our Facebook Lives and I will be putting it on YouTube, but there is still a sense of safety. And I think you're right about that. And I think it's the other thing I was thinking about, you know, about social media, because I did put up a post about how wonderful it was to celebrate and all that sort of stuff. Then I wanted to write at the end, well, actually, there's a bittersweet part of me. And it was interesting because I wrote it on my personal page. For those who know me, you know, this won't be my experience. No one commented on that. It was all, what a lovely time you had and how precious. Because you see, again, I wanted to keep it light and fluffy because it was in one way, yet there's another side. So I've been actually debating, because again, it's not being true to myself. It's not actually being true to what is actually going on. Is I actually am going to write a post about it, but separately I decided, you know, because I think, again, it's this, you know, we talk about this social, you know, spiritual bypassing, and we talk about this toxic positivity, because a lovely friend phoned and I was talking about it and she said, oh, there's a blessing in this. And I feel like saying, no, right at this moment, there is no bloody blessing. Okay, there's none. So again, it's being careful how we support someone in that space. You know, and the words that we use, the concept. So how do you support yourself with this? You know, what if I said to you, oh, there's a blessing that you're feeling low energy, Rodin? How would you feel? You know, and anyone, again, share how you feel, you know.
that would depend on what stage of the low energy
Yes,
I'm in. If it's the
that's right.
beginning stage, I might just go, yeah, thanks, click, right?
Mm,
Or
mm,
piss off
mm.
because
Yes, I was thinking something like that too.
it's not what it's feeling like right now. Maybe it'll get there. It probably will. It usually does. But, yeah, that's not exactly what you want to be hearing.
Mm.
But I don't expect a pity party either, because that's also not what I'm looking for, right? You're just looking for someone to say, yeah, I know what that feels like.
Yeah.
And then even say, so what would you like to do? Right? What would you like to do? How can I help you through this? What is it that you need from me right now? And that's very different. That's a very different kind of conversation. And it feels very different too, right?
Yes, that's right.
Very different.
It does feel very different. And it's also having someone acknowledge where you're at, that they're thinking about you, not them. And again, it's learning how to be in this world with someone else's discomfort, with someone else's pain. Because at the moment, I can't see a future at the moment. And I won't go into all the details of why, but it's just at the moment, that's how I'm feeling. I can't see hope. I'm sort of wondering why, because you asked also about what do I do? And I was listening to a podcast yesterday, fascinating. And I did some art. Now, despite feeling in the darkness, look what I created. Bright.
Beautiful.
I couldn't believe it. That's what I created. So it's interesting how you can have these things happening, yet you can still create something so powerful. And I looked at it and been looking at it quite a bit, going, that is still there within me. That is what's giving me hope that I'll come out. And knowing that I've got, like you said, the tools to support myself, to be able to say, this will pass. This too will pass. It will pass.
Yes.
And it's just accepting at the moment, this is how I'm feeling. This is where I'm at. And not trying to force it, because I don't know how long it'll not pass. Yes, will I reach out to the psychologist this week if it keeps going? Yes, I will. I will.
Right.
Because you don't have to do it on your own. Because here I'm, don't have to be independent,
Yes. This is a little meander off of, well, not really. It ties into this. Like when I had mentioned, if someone calls or checks in on you and you're not feeling very great, and if you say something, the way they respond to us can be it can be very small in what they actually do, but really, really big. So and this was a few months ago, I think maybe in June, I was having just a really, really, really rough start to my day. And it was early in the morning. And I had received a message from someone, was messaging her back. And I just said, yeah, I'm just down in the dumps. I'm kind of having a crappy start to the day. And she video called me. She knew I was having coffee. She video called me and said, hey, feel like having coffee together. It's like, awesome. And she said, I'm sorry that you're feeling crappy, and I know what that's like. And so I just thought I'd call and say hi, and we can just chat. And you know what? That was enough to make the difference for me, right? That was it. And I did tell her how, after how important that was, and just, how lovely it was and how great it made me feel. And I didn't ask. She just did it. She just, hey, there you go.
That's it. That's it. And this is I believe,
wonderful.
It is wonderful. And it's so good to hear, because my friend I was meant to meet today didn't do that. She did it differently. And I remember thinking, I often don't reach out. And I said I was struggling, and I didn't get that back. All I wanted in a way was, she didn't even ask me what did I want. And it was really interesting, because it just shows me you don't know what you don't know. And all I wanted was her to pick up the phone, because she lives locally. Is just pick up, like what your friend did, just pick up the phone and say, hey, you know, do you want to chat? So it's interesting how do we get this out to the wider population of saying to people, that's all you need to do is I think, you know, and that's the training that I got too, is just say to someone, what is it you need from me right now? What is it you need? Because it might be you don't want to talk. It might be just knowing they're there. It might be if they happen to be sitting next to you, just holding your hand or just sitting there. Or like your case, did a Zoom, a quick call, you know?
Yeah.
That is it.
And what was so really, I mean, it was so beautiful also because she and I honestly did not know each other well at all.
Oh,
Really didn't.
Okay.
And so it was, you know, I guess this is the kindness of strangers, right? And so I know we've all heard it. We've probably seen videos and stuff about it, but that whole how you treat people in the world can make a difference. And you never know. You never know what impact you're going to have on someone else's life too in that moment, right? You hear stories about, you know, someone saying something, having a small interaction with someone, and it really does change their life. Right? So I think that's really incredible.
It is, and I think it's also, and again, as women would or people would minimize themselves, oh, I didn't really do that much, or, you know, because we minimize that call meant more than anything to you. And it's nice for this person to actually go, wow, you know, that's how easy it is. That is all it needs. That is all it takes, you know, and it is look, I do think it's a learned skill because, again, as I said earlier, we don't know what we don't know. And until we start sharing with people what it's like, because in a way I was doing my reaching out, you know, and it didn't come back. But at that point I was too exhausted or too distressed or too whatever to go back and say, could you phone me? Because I didn't even want to pick up the phone. Then I thought, well, perhaps I'm just not meant to be, you know, I love her to bits, this friend, but she can be, it might not have been the right person at that point in time either. So yeah, it is interesting, isn't it? How do we support ourselves? You know, and do you do yours through a lot of art?
You know, it's interesting. Actually, when I'm feeling really, really blah, I have a hard time connecting to my art.
Yes.
So yeah, so I don't. But what I did do today was I puttered in my backyard because winter's coming. And so I had to clear out the last of all my plants. And I did that and cleaned up and put stuff in the shed. And that was actually really wonderful to do, like to just be focused on that and, you know, rearranging the furniture and trying to figure out, oh, when it does get colder and I have to put this away, where am I going to put it? Little mundane kinds of things. But
yes,
it was nice because I didn't think so I also chose not to work. Right? Not work on work stuff or business stuff or whatever, right? It was like, no, this needs to get done. And I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was good.
That's it. And there's also, for me, a sense of accomplishment, because that's what I wrote years ago about the ordinary becoming extraordinary. And mindfulness is about how can you be in the moment with those things. So like you, yesterday, I was having a moment mid-afternoon. So for me, it's, you know, I know sort of time of day, mid to late afternoon. And I'm swapping over my winter clothes to my summer, you know, and I was taking time. I had half of them on the floor in the lounge room because William's not here. And suddenly I went, instead of just sitting around feeling this miserable, just put the clothes away. Like you said, do something that is proactive, easy to do, and with this incredible sense of achievement.
Yes, it's true.
I felt so like, yes, I did that. Now I've got them all. I'm ready now for summer. You know, so again, it was that wonderful sense of what can you do? Again, is that to support yourself? And this morning, because I do always journal. I've been journaling for 30 years. I do always write. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to write and so again, it's writing without an outcome, without the need, because I used to always need an outcome. So I just thought, I'm just going to write how I'm feeling. It's simply writing how you're feeling, but honestly how you're feeling, not, you know, because often we can feel guilt or disloyal or whatever. And as I was writing, then it came through, and then I went, I'm needing to revisit. This is the blessing, you know. But I came to it myself, so there's a difference. And I went, okay, I'm needing to revisit this again, you know. And it was just interesting how, and then it was like, okay, then suddenly it was like there was this release from just simply that, okay, that's what it is. You know, now I can do something about it in whatever way I choose to do that. So again, there's the support, how you can support yourself, you know. It could be through, because I did a really lovely YouTube on how to journal for mental health. And I might even put the link below this, and shows you different ways, why, how. Again, you could write, you can dance, you can do poetry, you can doodle. So again, coming back to this, I think deep within, when I was doing this yesterday, when I was listening to something, I wanted to feel the brightness and the flow and just experience just playing and all that, you know, and that's what came through. And that's, as I said earlier, the reminder that that is still where I'm at. This other stuff is not surface, but it's here. It will pass, because this is still what's actually within me. This is now my foundation, not the other way around. So I was quite pleased with that. And I was chuffed with it as well. I was so pleased with how it turned out. So, and I thought also, as we end, if you're willing, I thought I might draw a card, because I love the whispers of healing. So let's see, and hopefully it won't give me divine timing, divine guidance, because otherwise I'll scream.
Just remember, universe has a sense of humor.
That's right. I'm so glad you said that, because I must have, when I read it this morning, that in divine timing, divine guidance, like, oh my God, I did smile. And again, this is this, because I sat there and I thought, well, how long do I need to be in divine guidance for? How long does it divine time? This feels like it's been for years and years and years. Everything is going towards this big kabang, and it hasn't happened. Well, not the way I've wanted it anyhow. So you know, and again, it was so interesting, because then you can spiral down into you're a failure, it's not working, what's the point, the future, there's no hope. Oh my God, isn't it interesting to see how how we go, you know? Yeah, the sun is still shining, it's a beautiful day here in Perth, and I'm going, you know, oh my God. So anyhow, let's see, just let's see what, as a group, or whoever's watching and whoever will watch in the future, what will resonate. Barriers. I don't know if you can see that card properly. Anyone who's watching, can you see it?
Oh,
barriers, it's called. So let me have a look and see what it's about. It looks like a dragon with a fairy on it. Number 13. Okay. So, it's saying you've created barriers or defense mechanisms that may be preventing emotional and mental healing. And in a way, that's true, you know, and I'm reading the book, The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks again. It's about when you come to your, he calls it upper limits. Often we call it sabotage, that when things are going really well, you do something to bring you down. And I thought, oh, this is interesting, because I'm enjoying my time, right? Universe is eagerly waiting and willing to assist you with your healing, but you may not be receiving the healing you desire. Okay, so, you know, again, I was for a while, so I'm going to explain it from my point of view. I was for a while, enjoyed the silence, and now I'm not, you know. Something seems to be blocking or hindering your restoration. Anyone who's watching, love to hear what you know, if this is resonating. And the obstacle may be a protective measure you've put into place to keep your heart from further harm. But that's right. Yeah, that's right. Because we don't want any more pain, do we? You know?
No.
However, it's also preventing the healing light being sent to you from penetrating and healing your pain. So I find that. Now, defense mechanisms. So clearly, well, I will only speak for myself, not for you. Obviously, obviously, this defense has come up as response to being wronged, hurt, rejected, abandoned, or abused. And that has been what's been coming up, is the fear of being abandoned and rejected and being on my own.
Right.
So isn't that interesting? Yeah.
That is interesting.
And the other thing I think is also interesting, you may have made a mental vow not to allow yourself to feel a certain type of pain again. Because you don't want to, I don't know, but I don't ever want to go back to where I was.
No.
And yet, you know, here I am, poof, it's like I hit the proverbial brick wall. Trying so hard not to feel what I was actually what was churning within, and then bang, of course it comes out, you know. Yes, so by identifying the root cause of your defense mechanism, healing can begin. So that's what happened this morning. So you, in a way, what would you do? So you being in the garden, you felt that helped you yesterday?
Today, it did.
But yesterday, yeah.
It did. You know, but there are times when something comes up or a feeling comes up, and it does become a little bit more about, yeah, I recognize this. I think I know where it's coming from. And where was I going with it? It had to do with the healing part. Being appreciative that I can recognize it, though, so that I can heal it. And that can take time, obviously. It's like, just because you recognize something doesn't mean that automatically you go, oh yeah, that's great. You know, thank you for the lesson, and poof, it's gone. So that certainly has come up. So I can, in that regard, I absolutely relate to these things coming up for healing, right? It's like, oh yeah, there is that.
And I agree with you. And I think the way I was taught through my meditation teacher all those years ago, which is insight, name it, because often when we're so numb, we don't know. So even sometimes you just say you're feeling. So I knew what my feeling was. So name it, acknowledge that it's there, and accept it, and then just let it be. And like you said, not force, not push. So for right now, this is how I am feeling. You know?
Yep.
So we're not denying it. So it can come through and come out, you know? So yeah, so really basically what it's saying here is, you know, and I think this is really something you have created it. Remember, fear does not keep you safe. And that's the whole irony. Fear does not keep you safe. So me sitting in this fear of what I'm going through, I actually, when I read that, I don't feel stable. I actually don't feel safe. Because it's taking me outside of me. So therefore I feel vulnerable and raw. So more vulnerable, open to whatever. So yeah, it's just interesting, isn't it?
It is.
That's a beautiful cut. It's barriers. So what barriers have you put up, anyone, that is, you know, holding you back? And again, just being with what is, finding ways to support yourself, either those that you've already got or ways to do it, to bring them into your life, so that when things happen, you've got something to turn to. Or someone as well, or someone. Now, I don't know about you, Rawdine. I'm feeling better already, because again, talk with someone you feel safe with. I feel safe with you, despite it being going out into the world. So thank you for holding me.
You're welcome. Thank you for holding me too.
Pleasure.
As
it's
always.
It is, as always. And I don't know, you seem to be doing a few things. I definitely wasn't today. I just know. I
just kind of puddled a little more.
Yes. And was that on last week's love letter?
Yes. On our love letter. Yeah.
Actually, it's interesting you say that, because I was thinking of doing another one as well, you know, and just writing lovely little things down. And someone showed me last week when we did put it up, and then is that what she does, because apparently this neurographics people been doing it at school, but she does it with neurographic, and then she actually writes the words, the love letter, into the different bubbles.
Oh, cool.
So I thought I might do that.
So many ways to do this. I mean, creativity wise, it's so whoever is planning on joining us on October 25th, There will be so many incredible ways
Mm.
for you to create your own love letter and your, your beautiful, unique art. So
That's
I'm
right. And
excited.
it is exciting. And thanks for
Yeah.
that reminder. So everyone, 25th
Yes.
for you in Canada, 26th
Yes,
for us here
26th
in
for
Perth.
you.
We will be marketing that soon. And it's going to be
Yep.
a 1.5 to 2 hour workshop on writing your own in your own way. That to me is not only the love letter is important, but it's in your own way, because this is how to expand yourself out. Or what I did in the beginning when I was insecure, I would copy. So I would follow, then to allow myself to go into my own space and create the way I want. So, and as you said, there's so many beautiful ways. So
Absolutely.
Thank you. So I'm just going to blow out the candle as a thank you for Spirit's guides, everyone being here, holding us in the space, and see you through the week on our Facebook pages and definitely next Monday. And if you're coming from YouTube, do go to our Facebook pages. Unfold Your Freedom is mine. Yours is Rawdeen
Eastfeld Designs or Rawdeen Eastfeld, either one.
Yeah. So, and I always put the links to our information in the bio anyhow on YouTube. All right. Have a beautiful week, everyone. Thank you, Rawdeen.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Take care and bye.
Bye.